So, back for another VGC guide, and this time we are looking at Gouging Fire. This is a ridiculous signature move. Like, always having a protect move that has added benefit. Like, that's always good. Like, spiky shield, getting an extra bit of chip damage. Like, sometimes noticeable chip damage. It's really good. Being able to burn them, if they go for a fake out into you and you just protect on the fake out, that's so strong. Like, people are no longer going to be able to safely go for fake out and whatever. There's going to be an extra mind game of, if I go for the safe, quote unquote, play of fake out and whatever, even if they go for double protect, don't really care. Now they will. You can't safely go for a fake out into the Gouging Fire if you don't want to get burned. So that's such a significant signature move for Gouging Fire to have. As well as having pretty good stats. Like, Fire Dragon is a great typing. These stats are good. Like, it's not super busted, but it's very, very solid. 115 attack is good enough. It will be able to do the damage that you need it to, while having very, very respectable bulk indeed. Its speed tier is incredibly annoying, though. Its speed ties with Landorus Therian. That's so annoying, because you really want to go for Dragon Lances with Gouging Fire. Therefore, you will speed tie with a Choice Scarf Landorus if you are going with the Adamant set, so you can do as much damage as you possibly can, which is the most ideal thing. You want to be able to sweep with your Dragon Lance, you need to be able to pick up KOs. If you're Jolly, you may not be able to. However, some people may not be comfortable with the speed tie with the Urshifu, and also underspeeding Choice Scarf Urshifu. Going with the Jolly one will be able to do that. Assumedly, they won't be Jolly on their Choice Scarf Landorus or Urshifu. They shouldn't. That's bad. You want to do the damage, so they need to be adamant. So therefore, you should outspeed most reasonable Choice Scarf, Urshifus, and Landorus's with this speed stat. But notice that that's a drop in 10 actual attack, which is a lot. Like, that's quite a few KOs now missed because you're Jolly. So some people would be perfectly fine going for this one. Because, of course, if you Dragon Lance twice, you're sorted. That becomes completely irrelevant. But if you Dragon Lance once, that might be enough to be able to outspeed. So take your pick of which one you are comfortable with, whether you want the extra damage and just, I will Dragon Lance twice in the face of a Choice Scarf Pokemon, or you're trying to outspeed them just immediately with the +1, but then you'll miss some KOs. So that's basically what it is. This Pokemon absolutely wants to be in the sun even more than normal Photosynthesis mons do, because it's going to be increasing its fire-type damage as well as it's getting its Photosynthesis. So a sunny day is turning Flare Blitz into a nuke. Like, even with just based 115, the Flare Blitz is going to do so much damage in the sun because of just that increased, basically, choice band boost from the Sunny Day, and then also the Photosynthesis. If you are going with Sunny Day on your team, then you shouldn't run Booster Energy on your Gouging Fire, because you'll get the Sunny Day boost. You don't need the Booster Energy to activate Photosynthesis at that point. So going with some other item would be much more beneficial if you do have Sunny Day. If you don't have Sunny Day and the Booster Energy is free, absolutely Booster Energy, for sure. But if you do have Sunny Day, something like Loaded Dice Scale Shot would be a very good alternative, because you'll already get the boost with the Sunny Day. And then Scale Shot, it's noticeably stronger than Dragon Claw. So going to be able to get at least the 4 hits. That means you've got an average, like, it's expected base power of 112, effectively. Well, 113 if you're rounding up, but Pokemon truncates, so I'm a maths teacher. So Scale Shot is much stronger than Dragon Claw. It can miss, though. I'm not sure I would be comfortable running Scale Shot, but objectively, it's one of the strongest attacks you can go for with the loaded dice. So, and also getting your speed boost. So if you Dragon Dance and then you Scale Shot, you're still doing loads of damage, and then you don't care about the Choice Scarf Pokemon anymore. So I'd probably actually have the Scale. I'd probably reverse these EV spreads, to be honest, because Scale Shot would be better when you're needing a +2 rather than a +1. But this is definitely an alternative. Like, you should always have Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz is guaranteed. If you are not Assault Vest, you should always have Burning Bulwark as well. It's such a good protect ability. But Assault Vest is going to be very reasonable on it as well, because its defense stat is great. Its special defense stat is, yeah, it's alright, but it's patched up very easily with the Assault Vest. And there's plenty of moves that Gouging Fire would want to have attacking-wise, so having an Assault Vest makes perfect sense as well, if you don't feel the need to go for a Dragon Dance sweep. So, yeah, like I've said, Flare Blitz is mandatory, especially if you set up the sun. It's the most amount of damage you can do. It's so much damage in the sun. And then, basically, take your pick. There's loads of good moves to have. Like Terra Blast with Fairy. Like, Fairy is a very good defensive typing, because you'll be immune to the Dragon type attacks that would want to hit this. And in your regular form, Fire and Dragon, you're resisting Steel already, so it's pretty good typing to have. But Terra Blast coverage would be also very good. Like, Fairy and Fire is near perfect coverage. You don't hit Fire types. Stomping Tantrum does that. Stomping Tantrum will beat all the Heatrans that otherwise these Dragon Dance sets won't go for. You could easily have Stomping Tantrum over the Dragon type move. Although outside of Heatran, Fire and Dragon is way better coverage. I would probably just have a different way of dealing with Heatrans. otherwise. But in the Assault Vest one, you absolutely have space for the ground type attacks from Gouging Fire, and then just take your pick, basically. Like, Breaking Swipe is a great move in regards to support, and also get stab on top of it, so it'll do noticeable damage while being very good support as well. This is not a recommended moveset, these are just alternatives that you can have somewhere on your Assault Vest Gouging Fire. So, Scale Shot would still be able to fit, like, you'll be sacrificing your defense, but you'll still be able to get the speed boost that you wouldn't have been able to get because you don't have Dragon Dance anymore, so Scale Shot would be perfectly reasonable. Even without the loaded dice, it would be fine, but a little bit risky. Temper Flare is able to fit on in a 4th move if you just don't want any recoil from your Flare Blitz. That would be fine as well. Dragon Tail and Snarl are great supporter moves as well. Like Snarl, same thing as Breaking Swipe, getting on the special side. Dragon Tail, getting rid of all the setup Pokemon, and also a counter to Trick Room because it has slightly higher priority than Trick Room does. There's plenty of moves that the Gouging Fire can fit on. Whether it wants to go for a Dragon Dance sweep or it wants to just bulk itself out with the Assault Vest, it's actually going to be a pretty significant Pokemon. Just the fact that Incineroar is going to be everywhere means that it has competition in being the Fire type on your team. In my opinion, that's no contest. Gouging Fire all the way. But because Incineroar is going to be everywhere, that's going to make people question this, even though this is going to be a very strong Pokemon in this format.